It's not surprising that President Trump is lining up meetings right now and could be about to run for president in 2024. In fact, a big meeting held this weekend confirms that that is the case. Mark Meadows let the cat out of the bag on this, saying that Trump is moving forward with a 2024 presidential run in a real way and is meeting with cabinet members at his New Jersey golf club, former chief of staff says. Mark Meadows, who has the inside track on that. So he's been having meetings with a number of different people at his Bedminster golf course. We met with some of our cabinet members tonight. We would be meeting tonight if we weren't making plans to move forward. And we wouldn't be meeting tonight if we weren't making plans to move forward in a real way. So President Trump, get ready for it, is ready to take on whoever's going to be on the Democratic side. Is it going to be Joe Biden? Is it going to be Kamala Harris? President Biden had said he would only run for one term, but now he's been going back on that. You saw him during that CNN town hall the other day. Was President Biden couldn't even put a word together. It was so bizarre. Did you watch that?
Oh my gosh, yeah. And people are like, "Well, it's just a slip up moment or whatever." He's just like, but man, it made zero sense.
A couple of times. I mean, you're on national television at a town hall, right?
Well, and Don Lemon didn't say anything. Like if I would have been, I would have been, "Sir, could you repeat what you just said?" Because that made absolutely zero sense. But no, it's like he's like, yeah.
Oh, they're CNN totally on board with it. You know, they're happy as clams now. They get to do these town halls they get to make money off of this. CNN all up in this, you know, all totally happy.
You're cracking me up.
Sorry, Brian. It's the truth. You know, you guys are totally in the tank for him. So you cannot ask the tough questions. You absolutely can't. It was a real weird, like, sort of love fest between Don Lemon and him. Anyway, bottom line is President Trump is lining this up. And I think that progressives are saying the truth here. You had Bernie Sanders, who was interviewed by Crystal Ball over on the Breaking Points show. She did a really good interview with him. She pressed him on a number of issues on progressives, but one of the issues that she talked about was the sort of disaffected movement. The reason that we have a Donald Trump is not because people are inherently racist or something. It's because the system has let people down. And so you've got to fix the system. Otherwise, you're going to continue to have people like Donald Trump who are catering to those people. And there's a way.
And we're saying fix the system. I mean, we don't want people like Biden either. We either end up with someone like Biden or we end up with someone like Trump. Like we need somebody that actually represents the people and hasn't been a corporate tool and a liar for 40 plus years. I mean, you guys can like say, well, Biden's president, we can forgive him now, right? The guy's been lying and doing negative things for 40 years. He has a record. And this man was somehow able to become vice president and then president. I mean, he's really no better than Trump in a lot of ways.
Because of the corporate infrastructure, right? That's how. Right. That's exactly how. And so, and why is Bernie Sanders not president of the United States right now? Because the Democratic infrastructure, the big money Democratic infrastructure, sank him, tanked him. And so did the corporate media. The reason that Bernie Sanders wasn't even invited on MSNBC to do interviews during the election was literally blocked off on charts that they put up on the screen, hidden from the mainstream, all with the purpose of, and by the way, they would put him, like, who's running for president? They would put him up on the screen. Who's running for president? They had that big picture of the graphics, you know, and they had Joe Biden's face, they had Kamala Harris's face, and others. No Bernie Sanders, no Andrew Yang. They were purposefully kept off of it. And we know that because a former producer at MSNBC who quit and then whistleblowed on the whole thing and explained that they were explicitly told not to invite these people on their air, corporate media.
And look at the DNC.
But Kamala Harris, they were allowed to put Kamala Harris's face on there. And in the polling, Andrew Yang was polling higher than she was, and yet they put her face on the graphics.
Well, and let's not forget also what the DNC did to Bernie during the Clinton campaign. And who's the bad guy in that scenario? Julian Assange.
Right. Yeah. So keep him and revoke his citizen. He just had his citizenship revoked, by the way, in Ecuador. So yeah, keep doing what you're doing. The corporatists, the corporate media, and the corporate politicians continue plugging along. But Bernie Sanders, in this interview, says, look, we need to be worried, and progressives should be worried, because Donald Trump could win. Listen.
Yeah.
You got many millions of people who are working longer hours for lower wages. They are hopeless about the future. Their kids are not doing well. They are turning to drugs, to alcohol, even to suicide. They're going nowhere in a hurry. Somebody's got to talk to those people. Somebody's got to talk to those people. And I think the Democratic Party has not done a particularly good job in that.
Good. Yeah. Democrats have not done a good job. Thank you, Bernie.
I hope if I ever have the damn time and we can pass this bill to actually get out into Trump land and to start talking to working class people. Because when people are frustrated and angry, they turn to bad things. I mean, that's where racism and sexism and homophobia and xenophobia rear their ugly heads. And what we have got to do is say to those people, look, there is a reason why you can't afford to send your kid to college. There is a reason why the rich are getting richer and you're getting poorer. Let's talk about what those reasons are, how we can create a nation that works for all of us. And you got to be involved in that. And in Trump, what people don't talk about, you may have noticed, Trump has held some rallies recently. Huge turnouts for a non-campaign moment. So is he a potent threat? Yes. And we have got to think long and hard about how we reach out to those people, many of them, not all, some of them are going to be racist, and frankly, you're never going to reach
Nothing
them.
you can do about it.
And that is really sad. It upsets me very much. That is a reality. But not all of them are. You've got to give them some hope. You've got to give them an alternative. And I don't think we're doing anywhere near enough. Now, what this bill is about, this crumpled piece of paper, this is the legislative language. You got it? What it's about is saying to those people, you've given up on government, but you know what? We have not given up on you.
Yeah.
Imagine to serve those people, right? To have a party that actually served those people instead of paid lip service to it. Like, we're going to pass $15 an hour minimum wage. We're going to bring, we're going to get you that Medicare for all. We're really going to do it. We're going to get you $2,000 stimulus checks. We really mean it. We're going to wipe away student loan debt. We really mean it until we get to office, and then we don't do it.
Well, and to be fair, I mean, there's a lot of things I really love about Bernie, but Bernie himself has not used his power and his leverage the way he could have to get some of those things from Biden when he first got into office. Bernie could have done a lot more, but he just, that's his friend Joe. So he doesn't want to push his friend Joe, but like him and the squad have so much power if they would just use it. But the problem is they're not using it. I've not seen them use it.
They'd rather tweet about it. I mean, we did hear from Alexandria Ocasio-Cortez, who said that she's not going to vote for this bill unless this human infrastructure piece is included, and that would come down to President Biden pushing on this issue. So she did have some teeth in this. I am encouraged that she is actually supporting this idea of pushing for this legislation and not just relying on this one piece of infrastructure. So here was AOC actually from the squad side, from the progressive side. Let's see if she actually does something about it.
That they're talking about, and Manchin said they're going to introduce it today. They're going to bring out the language. Is obviously a lot smaller than you wanted, a lot smaller than a lot of your fellow progressives wanted. It still does include things that you like, including funding for electric vehicle charging stations, public transit, clean water systems, broadband, more. When it comes before the House, as it looks like will happen, will you vote for it?
We have to hold on to that. We have to hold on to that bargain. If there is not a reconciliation bill in the House, and if the Senate does not pass the reconciliation bill, we will uphold our end of the bargain and not pass the bipartisan bill until we get all of these investments in.
Wow. Okay. So we're not going to vote for that. You've got to make sure we get this $3.5 trillion stimulus. We'll hold them to it. That's what progressives are saying. But, President Trump lining up right now, putting together a team again, meeting with potential cabinet picks for a future run for 2024. Hey, if Biden can be president, at this age, Trump could be president at that age. I mean, would he be like 80 something at that time? I mean, he would be the oldest president ever. I mean, we keep just getting to the oldest presidents. Now I can't even keep track. It's like Trump was the oldest. Now Biden's the oldest, and now Trump would be the oldest again. And this is all we got.
The only thing is, like, I don't trust AOC. I mean, so AOC ran on Medicare for all. Like, she's like, we don't have to wait. We can do this right now. And last week there was a Medicare for all protest in 50 states where over 100,000 people were there, and she locked her office. She did not show up. Bernie didn't show up. None of the progressive squad showed up. Nobody helped support that, and that's what they all ran on. So for me, their actions speak louder than their words. I hear them saying these things. I don't believe a word they say because I see what they're doing behind the scenes. All of them should have been part of that rally.
Like I always say here on the show, don't listen to what they say. Watch what they do. Right? Just watch what they do. Because they're going to spin so many yarns and they're going to tell you what you want to hear on television. And then when it comes to voting or it comes to actually moving the needle on something, they're not going to do it. But I have to say, let's give props today. Let's end on a positive note. Cori Bush, who put her actions where her words were, and she slept on the steps of the Capitol along with other people who are facing homelessness because of this eviction crisis. Good for her calling attention to it. So I will give her a round of applause on that. Now, can the rest of the squad stand up to this party, to their institutional party and their leaders, and get something meaningful done for these people so we don't have a homelessness crisis in the United States and an eviction crisis in the United States? There's so many things. And Medicare for all for the United States so that we have health care for these people that are sleeping on the streets, by the way, that at least they would have a safety net and a place to live and health care like other countries in the industrialized world do. Let me know in the chat your thoughts about that. Thanks for subscribing to the channel. You can also become a channel member by going to morninginvest.com/join, where you can stick it to the mainstream media and support independent journalism. We're able to bring you the stories that you won't see on any of the major billionaire-backed networks. Thanks so much. We'll see you next time, everyone.